today is going to be a talk through video. I'm going to basically be showing you how I do my foundation routine, my highlight and my contour routine, and why you should do these steps when you're wearing makeup. Okay, so I'm starting, my eyes are already done. I'm starting off with a clean, bare face. And now I'm going to go in with my primer. This is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. And then there's also a drugstore option. There's the NYX Shine Killer option. So this is the option that I'm going to use today. I like this one. I might mix the two. There's also another one that I like, but I can't find it at this exact moment. So I'm just going to take a small drop of this on each cheek. Well, a bigger drop than that one. Like no bigger than a penny or a nickel. Whichever one is smaller. Can't think at the moment. And I'm just going to rub this into the places that I get the most oily. And I'm going to make sure I put some of that on my forehead. And now I have oily to combination skin, so that's why I am using a mattifying primer. So this will control my oils all the day long. And I'm going to let that completely dry. You'll know when it's completely dry because you'll have no more oils in your face. And now I'm going to move on. Well, I'm going to let this dry. And now I'm going to talk to you guys about color correcting and concealing. I am of a dark skin tone. As you can see, my melanin is popping. So when I color correct, I either use the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Orange Corrector. And this is a true, see if I can get some out so I can show you guys. This is a true orange, and a little of this stuff goes a long way. Now this is the more affordable option. These can be found at your local drugstore or hair store or beauty supply store for like $2 to $3. Excuse me, $2 to $3. And the more high-end version that I like to use sometimes is the MAC Prep and Prime Color Correcting Pen and Peach Luster. And as you can see, the peach one is significantly lighter than the orange one, but either one of these would work. You don't want to use too much of that orange corrector because if you use too much, it can show through your foundation. This one tends to match your skin tone a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Peach Luster from MAC. And I'm going to color correct around my mouth because that's where I have a lot of darkness. So like on my top lip. And like right here. And like a little bit on my chin. Don't want to go too crazy with this. And now I'm just going to take a flat top. No, I'm not going to use this brush. I'm going to take this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and buff that into my skin. And as you can see, it's starting to blend in with my skin. You can't tell that I have color corrector on. Now with the orange one, I'm going to use the orange one on my forehead to show you guys. I'm going to put it in the spots that I have dark spots. And it's like two little spots right here where I get dark on my forehead right there. And I'm just going to buff that in using the same brush. You see how I didn't use too much of that orange? And it's blending in with my skin tone nicely. Now for foundation, I tend to use 3 different foundations. 2 of my drugstore foundations are, the first one, this is my Holy Grail drugstore foundation. This is the CoverGirl Queen Collection All Day Flawless 3-in-1 foundation in Q86 60. The color is Rich Mink. If you didn't know, this is CoverGirl, not CoverGirl, Queen Latifah's line with CoverGirl, and I love this color. This is the second to the darkest color. And as you know, Neutrogena also expanded their shade range, and I use the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup. It's broad spectrum with SPF 20, and the CoverGirl has SPF 20 in it too, and this is the color 135 Chestnut. For a more high-end foundation, I use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the color Rich Mahogany A8. So we're just going to go in with my CoverGirl foundation because that's the one I've been using a lot lately. And normally I would pump, I'm still going to pump some on the back of my hand. I'm going to pump some on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take my beauty blender. Sorry for it has a little bit of a spot on it, but it is clean. I literally just cleaned it, and it is damp. It is not soaking wet, it is damp. I'm just going to pump two pumps on the back of my hand like so, and I'm going to take my beauty blender and go in and pick up some of that foundation. And I like to dab the foundation on my face before I start working it in, just to get rid of some of the excess product. And I'm just going in pouncing / dabbing motions on my face. And this foundation is very full coverage because it is a foundation and a concealer and it's a foundation, a sunscreen, and a SPF. But it's a foundation with concealer in it as well. So it is very full coverage. And now when I get to this side, I like to go back in like this, pick up just a little bit more foundation to help blend this in. And see, by the time I get ready to do my forehead, I'm about out of foundation. So I take like a small pump, maybe like a pump and a half. I don't push it all the way down. And I just dab this on my forehead. And you want to make sure that you get your hairline so it doesn't look like you're wearing a mask. And you want to get around your temples really well. And sometimes you have to get your ears. Now I can still see the spots where I have that corrector, but we're going to go in and fix that in just a minute. Now after I'm done with my foundation, I let it sit on my face for like maybe 2 to 3 seconds, and then I take a flat top brush. I like to go in and further blend that foundation, just in case we missed any spots with the beauty blender. Just further blend that in. And now we're going to move on to concealer. I like to use my LA Girl Pro Concealer, but I also do have the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And I also have the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I'm not going to be using this one today because I don't like the way this one tends to blend out with this foundation. I normally use that with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I'm running low. Oh, and the color I use in the MAC foundation is NC45. I'm running low on my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Dark 1 Deep Cafe. They also expanded the shade ranges on this concealer, so I'm going to look into that and pick up a couple of those. But the concealer that I most of the time use on an everyday basis is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Toast. And the reason you want to conceal is because, as you can see, I have bags. But we're also going to use this concealer to highlight. Now, the reason you highlight is because when you put on foundation, you have given yourself a blank canvas. You don't have any dimension in your face. Your face has dimension in it naturally, but when you put the foundation over it, all that dimension goes away and you're flat-faced it. Flat-faced it. Your face is one color. So we're going to bring life and color and tone and dimension back into our face by highlighting and contouring. And we're gonna go go the triangle like way on the sides under our under eye. And we're gonna bring in our nose. We're gonna highlight all the places that the sun hits naturally. So that is up under our eyes, top of our forehead, our cupid's bow, and our chin. Now I'm going to do something that I normally don't do. I'm going to do a cream contour for you guys. And I'm going to be taking LA Girls Pro Concealer in the color Mahogany. And I'm just going to put this in like right here. Oh, it kind of matches my skin. We're just going to put that right there. And across the temples of our forehead. Kind of like on the temples of our forehead. And on the sides of our nose. On the sides of our nose. And I was just going to blend all of this in. I'm going to start with my concealer first. So I'm just going to blend. Blend. And you want to go in backwards. You want to go back and forth under your under eye, as so. And you want to make sure you get under your under eye and press when you get under there. Let me go ahead and blend this brown in right here because it's doing a lot for me. I put extra eyeshadow on my nose. We're gonna go in and fix that though. My nose is looking crazy, but I'm gonna fix it, okay? I promise you I'm gonna fix it. And I'm just gonna hurry up and blend this in before it dries. And we be stuck with the crazy face. I'm just gonna blend in that nose. We're gonna fix this nose. And I take the butt of my beauty blender to do my forehead so some of that foundation mixes with it. And then I'm just going to take the beauty blender and blend in that contour on our forehead as well. And blend it in on our cheeks. And blend it in on our cheeks. And then I'm still going to take this same brush and go in and make sure everything is nicely blended. I like to go over everything and make sure it's nicely blended. You don't have any lines of demarcation or anything. And now I'm going to move on to bronzing my skin. That's what I normally bronze my skin. I don't really contour my skin. And for bronzer, I use the CoverGirl Queen Collection bronzer in Ebony Bronze. And I'm going to take my broken brush. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say my broken brush. And I'm just going to bronze my face. In that same place that I contoured, I'm just going to take this bronzer and bronze my face. Just bronze. And I'm going to bronze my nose too, because that contour is a little harsh. I'm going to bronze around my temples and on my jawline. Now I'm going to go in and set my under eye concealer. This is a step that I must do because I am oily. And if I don't, my wear will come to an end. And I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent powder. When I first bought this, I was like, this ain't gonna work for me. I'm a dark skinned girl. But it works wonders for me. And we're just gonna set all the places that we highlighted. I just like to set my forehead, y'all, don't mind me. And we're just gonna let that sit on there for a couple of minutes. And then I'm gonna go in with another powder because I'm extra and because I like full coverage. I'm gonna be taking my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation powder in the color Rich Cocoa, which is a shade lighter than the foundation that I use. And I'm just gonna take my brush, it's completely coated. I'm just gonna take my brush and lightly place this on top of that translucent powder as I'm pushing it and sweeping it into my skin. Gonna do the same thing on all of those areas where that translucent powder is. I'm just gonna get rid of it and place this powder where that is. It brings color back to the face because the translucent powder can sometimes take away my melanin. And I'm just gonna set that on my forehead. And I like the coverage that it gives. It gives extra coverage as well. Now I'm going to go in with another powder. I know, I'm the powder queen, and I'm going to set my entire face with this powder. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Deep Dark. This, I go in with the very large powder brush. And I just lightly dust this all over my face. This helps set those areas that didn't get highlight or contour or any of those good things. This helps set the area. I've done my eyes. We can move on back to the face, and I'm gonna we can move on back to the face, and I'm gonna use my VH Cosmetics 10 color blush palette. It's the Glamorous blush palette, and I'm going to take this deep muted red down here in the corner. It's one of my favorite colors, and because fall is approaching, we can go a little ham on the blush. We can go a little ham. We can go a little ham. And I'm applying a lot because I always blend it out. Don't worry, guys. It's not gonna stay like this. This is very clownish. So now we're going to move on to highlighter. Sometimes I use my Lorac Tantalizer. But today I'm going to open up my Carly Bible palette from BH Cosmetics. And I'm going to use this very beat up bronzy shade down here. This shade right here. And I'm just going to take a F small stippling brush and swirl it around in there. And we're just going to dot that highlight on the face. And you're going to highlight the highest points of your cheeks, your nose. And I always switch brushes to do my Cupid's bow. I can't find my brush. There it is. I take another brush to do my cupid's bow and my upper lip. And I just like to take my finger and kind of like blend it out. And then I'm gonna take an e.l.f. regular size stippling brush and blend that blush out just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna take my very dirty beauty blender and like press over that. I set it with some translucent powder. I'm just gonna take my powder brush and dust it away. And for lips, I guess I'll take Maybelline Starmy Sahara lipstick. This is a, I don't know, color sensational, but I don't think it's matte. It has like a creamy satin finish to it. And I'm going to take Max Chestnut and just go in and line my lips. And there you have it. There's today's finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, comment, like, rate, and subscribe.